Just laying down the beat.
Welcome to another
kitchen sink microscopy.
Welcome to another. Oh,
what?
Wait, who's starting here?
You did.
Okay. Hang on a second.
Eric, am starting.
Wait. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another kitchen sink.
Yet again. Well, okay. How about I'll start?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to another kitchen sink microscopy. If we get our shit together. I'm Eric Rosenblatt, and we'd love it if you'd like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell, all that stuff. It's awesome. You're awesome. We love you. Hope you love us.
Get our shit together and go to AA, right?
Never.
I'm Casey Rochford, and we write awesome music. You should check out the ends of episodes, full episodes, and of course, patreon.com/KSMVidcast will have the weekly release because there's a new song every week. So, what are we gonna talk about?
Well, so it seems we have kind of a little bit of a collection of messages from the viewers suggesting ideas. And so what if instead of, because generally our lightning rounds kind of spawn whole episodes, what if we took those suggestions and kind of did like a kind of loosey-goosey lightning round, we're not going to have a bunch of text on the screen and stuff, but we'll stick it to like about roughly 5 minutes to kind of flesh out these suggestions that the viewers have put in. And by the way, if you're a viewer and you have a suggestion, go ahead and put it in, and we might do something like this, or maybe it'll become a whole episode. Who knows?
Write it down in cursive and use the self-address stamped envelope included with your ballot. And make sure to affix proper postage when sending it in.
Oh, yeah. That's important. And definitely do not write it in Comic Sans. For God's sake. Oh, my God, no.
Now all of them are going to be in Comic Sans.
Well, okay. I did that. I asked for it.
Minute Microscopia ago.
Exactly.
We're going to coin our own measurement too. Fitting of microscopists to do such a thing. Anyway,
exactly.
I happen to have a viewer recommendation idea. If you don't,
I don't. Well, you have access to some stuff, so why don't you just throw them out there? And
I'm the media guy.
Yeah, you'll be the media guy. You throw them out there, and we'll riff on them and go from there for as long as it takes. This could be a short episode. It could be a long episode. Nobody knows. It's all over the place.
It's a wild west out here.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, now, after the fact that everybody can see how long this episode but is, but in the moment.
Well, anyway, the idea, this is kind of funny because we were just sort of chatting about this before we started recording. Should we just start the nukes now and get it over with?
Oh boy. No.
For chronological context, we're in the midst of the Russia-Ukraine war, which hopefully by the time you're watching this is over.
It could be, and it could be because of nuclear war having started and just wiping all life off the face of the planet.
Is that really going to happen though?
No,
it's not like Terminator,
people have kind of a cinematic interpretation of nuclear war. It isn't like a large thermonuclear exchange is not as bad as people think it is. It's bad, but not that bad. It's survivable if you do the right things, and you're in the right place. But I don't think it's a good idea to preemptively just start flinging nukes out there. Granted, the current person at the helm of the ship of the Russian Federation is threatening those things, and probably needs to be taken out in some way, because we just don't do that in this day and age. Like, no, we're well beyond that. This is not the 50s. We can solve our problems in different ways, and so it just bugs me, because like all of this, there's no reason for it. Like going back even before the current conflict, which, by the way, the conflict has been going on for a lot longer than most people are aware. It didn't begin just this year. It's been a century in the making, essentially. But I don't think it's a good idea to do a preemptive strike, because it's possible that sounder minds in the military in Russia, if that decree did come down, like, hey, fire the missiles,
then fire the missiles. Russia's like, motherland.
Then it could spark a military coup, like a takeover, and just everybody like off with their heads. Everybody dies who's responsible for that. Because I mean, if I were Russian, I'd be angry at that system. It's like, how many Russian people have been killed for this completely ludicrous like conflict? Like, what's the point? What do we gain? Like, nothing.
I hope that would happen. I don't know if I would want to put all the chips on it, but I would hope that happened here too. But like, I mean, that's probably a whole other topic, but I feel like, Trump being in office, not Hitler equal, but like Hitler light, maybe, like you could see going that way, but it wasn't like he didn't really have like the brains or the balls to actually be a Hitler and like actually have to do decision making on the fly and actually like lead people. Whereas the position the president has is a lot more figurehead than actual like boots on the ground. Like, so
certainly it's a lot less, theoretically a lot less dictatorial. And there's a very big difference between those two sides, and the potential for global, like, I mean, intra-country-orial harm.
Those Chinese sons of a bitches are going down
is one thing, but like global harm, I mean, the in Russia, that's very serious. What is going on there is so serious. Because it isn't just like affecting a few people, it's affecting the whole fucking planet.
Okay, so here's the Earth. Chilling. Damn, that is a sweet Earth, you might say. Wrong. Alright, ruling out the ice caps melting, meteors becoming crashed into us, the ozone layer leaving, and the sun exploding, we're definitely going to blow ourselves up. Okay.
Like, all life on the planet could be affected by this one man's, or, well, the Kremlin, I guess. It's not just one guy, it's some people. But yeah, their actions and decisions will impact everybody. People who have nothing to do with anything. They're just trying to mind their own business, and like, whoa, all of a sudden, like, there's fallout coming down. Like, shit.
I mean, the devil's advocate to this, though, like, should we just throw the nukes? Well, obviously that sounds like a real shit conclusion to put yourself in, right? Like, possible nuclear winter or whatever,
WCF, mate.
Decimation of much of the population. But that's kind of the
Oh, that was time.
Ah,
But go ahead and finish your point, and I had another point that I wanted to add.
I mean, that's kind of the I lost it. Shit.
Damn it. Well, I'll add my point then, and then we can move on. The the answer to this is not nuclear warfare. This is a very simple situation that could be very easily solved without any kind of said actions. Like it doesn't require extinguishing mass quantities of life on planet Earth just to get at one guy or like a handful of guys. Like,
that was it. That's the point, is to decimate a bunch of the population, because like maybe we've kind of hit that pruning point where like all it's going to do is kill the rest of the tree if you don't cut off a bit of the chaff.
well, that's a whole different topic there. Like, oh my god, whoa, man, you would that statement would go over really well in the World Economic Forum. Ooh. Well, and to add one final thought, I guess, is that like why people didn't do things when Hitler was obviously going way overboard. You know, from the outside, we can look at things going on in Russia and say like, well, Putin's going way overboard or the Kremlin's going way overboard. Well, people can tolerate a lot. They can adjust their thinking to accept quite a bit of atrocity. It's like there's a threshold you have to cross to where people are like, okay, that's enough, no more. And it hasn't yet crossed that in Russia. Sure, they've lost 50,000-60,000 humans, Russians, to this war. But apparently it's not enough to overcome the propaganda. And
that was probably something he kind of learned, maybe not directly, but learned by observing Trump, because that's totally what Trump did with us. Is he would push the envelope, see where people freaked out, and then wait for a distraction, and then try pushing a different envelope. And I feel like he was testing the American people to see where they would revolt. You know,
his playbook isn't so recent. Like he worked for the KGB. I mean, we're talking like a century of doctrine that all that's being pulled from. But yeah, I mean, that's an interesting thing. So, okay, well, all right, we've rambled on long enough. Probably this little bit in between is its own block of conversation. So why don't we go on to like another suggestion?
Another suggestion. I probably should have had these at the ready, but
oh yeah. That's okay. Like we just kind of we're flying by the seat of our pants here. We're just picking up as we go along. We've never done this before.
Well, I mean, there's also like comments on particular videos or something. You know, like maybe we could also kind of make it a point to like elaborate or touch on a point that we missed or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So you don't have to DM us or anything like that. Just leave a comment that's stirring. I think we'll make this a thing.
Yeah.
Kind of with the same frequency as lightning rounds, a few times a season.
Well, actually, a comment from way back on one of the first family episodes we did. There were comments, and I can't remember if this was all on YouTube or some like in-person encounters I've had, but like a lot of people had like adoption angles that don't really match mine, and I was like, oh, it would be so cool to just hear from a bunch of different perspectives on either side of adoption in like one big grand episode. Like, how cool would that be?
Dude, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Like, we should do that. So
We
if
should.
anybody's watching and they're like, hey, I'm adopted, or I had to have, my kid be adopted, and or I adopted a kid, like there's all these different angles,
Mhm.
and then different offshoots of how those go, and positives and negatives.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of different ways that
That'd be a really good conversation. Yeah, that family episode was awesome.
and I mean, we could follow up on that family episode, because there was a whole shitstorm that happened after that we haven't even like done an episode on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, fuck it, I'll just tell the story now.
Okay. Do I need to start the
grab a
timer,
beer.
or are we just kind of like winging it?
Yeah, so I could try to squeeze it in.
Okay.
5 minutes.
All right. Just let me, or I guess I'll just start it when you start talking. How about that?
All right. Well, I got my beer now. So sometime after that episode, my brother had been playing in the NFL for a little while, and wasn't doing great. So it's not like he's going to be like a huge star or anything. So I figured, okay, it's not going to look like I'm some kind of gold digger, but like I just feel kind of sick of my adult siblings like not even having the autonomy of choosing whether or not they want to know a brother. Because, like, yeah, that could be pretty negative, but it could also be really positive for their life. So that's a gamble that you really should just kind of let happen.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm biased because I wanted to have a relationship with all my siblings and stuff. And it did not pan out that way at all. Ooh.
Mhm.
So I was talking with one sister, the only one on that side of the family that knew I existed. And she was kind of hiding it from our mother that she was speaking to me. Like this like the level of, I don't know if I want to call it fear or anxiety that my birth mother exudes over her family, like some kind of spider, like but like it's like they all cower in fear of upsetting mother. So like,
Is this like some Norman Bates shit or something like that?
Not quite that. Well, I hope not quite that. That might explain some things about me. No, I'm kidding. It was like I just started seeing this behavior in all of them. Like I thought at least maybe one of them will be like, hey, yeah, like, let's go grab a beer and get to know each other or something. But apparently, when I sent out this message to my siblings that didn't know who I was, with the exception of like one that wasn't even close to 18 yet, I was like, I'm going to do this with adults,
Yeah.
I'm not going to like make that decision for a child to like have to go through that at whatever age she is. I'm not even totally sure. But with the adult children, I was just like firing off emails that, I pre-wrote so they'd all come about the same time. And I just changed their names and stuff to address them. Never heard from a single one of them except my sister that I had been speaking with. A few minutes later, go away, Bixby. A few minutes later, she messages me like, what the fuck did you do? And I guess they were at this family gathering and everything blew up. I don't have any details, but it was quite traumatic, and nobody talks to me now.
Yeah, it's like, I guess it's just unfortunate timing. Like, how would you know that there was a family gathering right that moment when you were sending emails?
I mean, I
After
did see something on Instagram, like they were all wearing the same shirt and said mom likes me best. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I'm missing from this picture. Like, where's my shirt?
yeah,
And I was like,
but
why shouldn't they know who like they're having fun in the picture? I'm a fun guy.
yeah. Well, and then how would you know
Mm-hmm.
that that's the family dynamic, or that situation was so explosive? Like they were just waiting for the right spark to start fighting or something. I don't really know all the details, but it sounds like it was kind of like that.
Yeah.
And over
Yeah.
that too, it's like, wouldn't you be excited to hear the news that there's some long lost family member, there's some connection out there somewhere? Like,
Right. How is that ever a threat?
yeah,
Like, oh no, an outsider that, if had circumstances been different, we would have seen his family.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I don't understand that one at all. Ugh, uh, oh, family can do some awesome things. They can be the most selfless group of people, just doing things that no stranger would do to help another fellow person.
Yeah.
But they can also be the biggest dicks too,
Oh yeah.
for like no reason. No reason. Like, simply because it's a family member, all of a sudden your emotions get all bent out of shape, and shit. I've recently gotten into like murder mystery stuff, and yeah, relationships and family, people do some atrocious things to each other.
I
That
think that's just like going crazy, like being that close with people all the time. Like it makes sense when you're developing, right? To have that close familial bond. But like after that point, that tether doesn't need to be there. And, like everybody values like their personal space. So if you have like this tight knit family, I feel like you're probably going to have more pressure valves, like people that kind of seem like dicks in the family, but they might be like totally calm, chill, nice people with their work buddies or whatever, because they feel like they've got more space there. I mean,
Mhm.
just a theory.
Well, like they say, it's always the quiet ones, right? uh, yeah, I don't get it. It- yeah, I maybe I'm just living on a different plane from other people, but I just, when I when I found out that I had a sister, uh, I was excited. Like, that was awesome. Like, oh hell yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Like, no part of me felt threatened by that. Like, I mean, maybe some families have like a hierarchical structure, but I don't believe in that, and I don't operate that way. So maybe I can't fathom that. Um, like the queen bee or something. Like, I don't know. That's
I just had a funny thought. My sister, I think I told this story on the family episode, but like when she found out about me, it was on her 5th birthday, and our dad went in to like be like, "Hey, do you want to go meet your brother tomorrow?" Like, she never knew she had a brother. She just bolts up in bed and she's like, "Yeah," like no questions asked. Like, where did he come from or anything? No, it was just like, "Yeah, sweet, you got a brother, all right." and like then she was the flower girl at my first wedding. Well, now she's about to get married to her girlfriend, and I just had this funny thought that maybe I should be the flower boy at the
Yeah. Why
This
not?
tall, old, bald man, like being the flower girl or something.
I mean, that would be really sweet. You had said earlier too about not wanting to confront younger people or immature people with something so heavy as there being another person, an outsider. But I feel like, okay, those people are actually a lot more mature and accepting of those things than the supposed adults are.
Well, I just saying that reminded me, like, I guess I'm kind of a hypocrite in. I mean, like, I guess I can say I wouldn't selectively put that upon a kid. Like, I know the kid exists, and I'm going to lay down this metaphysical dichotomy on a 5-year-old, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I did that. I didn't know I had a sister though, but it didn't really even cross my mind. Like, hey, there might be like another young kid that this is gonna fuck their world, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I probably should have considered that. I mean, I was 20, so like,
exactly.
there's that.
Yeah,
I really have life experience to contemplate that deeply, but I don't know. I just wanted to be critical of myself for a moment.
Well, I don't think
that's how we improve.
Okay, well, making mistakes is how we improve. I don't.
Well, I did make a mistake, and I
yeah, but I don't think it's fair to be critical in that sense.
Well, I shouldn't say it's a mistake because it's totally awesome that we have like a relationship now. So
yeah,
that wouldn't have happened otherwise.
Yeah. Humans judge each other based on the assumption that like you should be all knowing, like you should already be wise. Everybody, obviously everybody knows that. But if you challenge any singular human on most things, they're completely dumb. Like nobody knows anything. We're all kind of bumblefucking our way through this life. No one knows anything. So, I'm well aware of that. So I'm disinclined to judge anybody, to assume the worst, like assume there must be malice involved. The reason someone is doing something, there has to be some kind of malicious intent. Well, no, it's far more likely that you're trying to do good and you're just ignorant of the circumstances or the facts or whatever. Like most people are trying to do good. Most people are good.
So funny how we start by talking about like, should we just start nuclear war, all the way down to like the beauty of family and like, right and wrong.
So okay, well, as
won't find that on Oprah.
Exactly. So as fast and loose as this episode is, I mean, we've had like 2 5-minute things. Do you have another possible topic?
That's probably a nice digestible point to stop on, I guess.
Yeah. Well, then I guess
it's an interesting idea, like, you know, because I mean, like, we try to cater to the really short attention spans with the Minute Microscopy and the like deep thinking, chill out, and you know, get into a good conversation kind of crowd with our full episodes. But there's people, you know, might want to just like listen while they're having lunch or something, and you know, something a little tighter. Probably nice to throw out once.
And I know some people listen to our show while going to bed just to listen to us talk. Hopefully we don't say something that like gets into your dreams and like fuels a nightmare.
And now for lullabies with kitchen sink microscopy. Go to sleep, rest your eyes, give me your fucking pin number.
Oh, man. Well, if only that would work.
Yeah, damn it.
Mhm.
Fishing fail.
Well, you're almost social engineering in that at that point. Um, so, well, this is a kind of a fun one. If anybody has ideas, what we promise we'll go back through the comments and collect a series of comments that are significant, so that we can do another one of these kinds of episodes, maybe a little bit more organized. Obviously, we just kind of made this up as we went along. I think it worked out pretty well, given that fact.
Yeah, it's just on the drawing board and see if people like it.
Yeah, and if you have some topics that could be briefly discussed, if Casey and I could ever discuss anything briefly, like, I mean, we actually have to have a timer to stop us from talking. But if you
we shouldn't call it a timer anymore. We should call it a condom.
Yeah.
It always catches the good part of the conversations, though.
It's a border wall. Oh man! But if you have ideas that you want to hear us talk about, I mean, we've got a lot of ideas on a lot of things, and I think our chemistry and our experiences like really work well together, and hopefully spark people to talk about things and think about things. Like, that is what this show is all about. So if you're not sparked to talk or think, well, get the fuck out of here.